Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today I would like to share even more thoughts on Astro, perhaps my final thoughts, but you never know, they might release some more DLC levels. We'll just have to stay tuned, I guess. And so at this point, I think I've done at least 5, maybe 6 videos related to Astro from when I played Astro's Playroom, my excitement for the release of Astro, the review, and then maybe a video or two on the other DLC levels. I know I did at least one, so I gotta do a final thoughts here. And as someone who doesn't really play platformers, I really enjoyed this one. I mean, I played platformers back in the day, like the Mario games and things like that, but, you know, at a certain point, I just became a JRPG supremacist, and I really only play, you know, JRPGs or JRPG-adjacent games, such as anime fighting games, visual novels, etc., etc. To an extent, this is a JRPG adjacent game because it's Japanese and it's got colorful characters and JRPG cameos, what you know. But, you know, I didn't play Astro's Playroom right away. Of course, that game is a free game on the PS5, and the PS5 came out, I believe, in 2021. I bought my PS5 in 2023, and you don't see free games like that very often anymore. Look at the Switch 2. You have to spend $10 on the welcome tour. Sony does what Nintendo don't. And I was just blown away by Astro's Playroom. And what prompted me to finally play it in 2024, last year, was when I saw the trailer for Astro. I'm like, holy shit, man, this game looks great. And all the cameos really interested me. And I'm like, you know, I got Astro's Playroom here. Might as well just re-download it and play it. So I played it, and I believe that game, if you 100% it, it takes you like 5 or 6 hours, so there's a lot of stuff. And in the lead up to Astro, what they did was each week, or maybe it was each month, I forget exactly. I'm pretty sure they revealed Astro, like the trailer, maybe 6 months before the release or something like that. So it might have been once a month in the lead up to Astro. They actually added a new bot in each of the levels in Astro's Playroom to get you more excited for Astro, and then those bots carry over to the full game, which is really cool. And they did something similar with the full game in Astro the free DLC levels. Free DLC in 2024 and 2025. Can you believe it? But with the first free DLC, which I believe was back in November, they actually had 4 or 5 different levels, and they released a new one each week. And then there was one, the Christmas-themed world, where, you know, I think that was just all at once. That wasn't a week-by-week basis. And then they had some more free DLC levels back in February, and that was the same thing. They had like a new level each week, and then just recently in July, they had what seemed like 4 new levels, but it turned out to be 5. There was that one level that gave me a lot of trouble, which I actually streamed the 5 recent free DLC levels. I think in the past 3 or 4 streams, I was chipping away at them. And that final level, man, I did a 4-hour stream trying to complete the final level, which the problem with that, people will say, oh, Astrobot's so easy. You know, what are you doing, you noob? Well, first of all, like I said, I don't really play platformers all that often, so it was difficult for me. And there's no checkpoints in the DLC levels. In the main game, there are checkpoints, and then you got the boss fights and stuff like that, but the challenge levels, there's no checkpoints. And if you get hit one time, it's not like you have HP with Astro, like Mario and some of the Mario games. I think all the Mario games, really. He has some HP, and you can replenish HP with coins. Not Astro. You gotta do it all in one go. And it had been a while since I played it, because remember, the game released back in September, and then, again, I kept going back for the DLC stuff, but these new levels, they had to use all the different power-ups, and I forgot how to use each of the power-ups, but this is really the only game I've played, which, again, I don't really play many of the exclusive Sony games. I just play, like, you know, games you can play on the Switch or PC or even on the PS4. So they don't really utilize the PS5 DualSense controller. Funny, the one game that I'm currently playing that does utilize the DualSense controller is Zenless Zone Zero, which there's a fishing mini-game, and you get some restraint with the triggers when you're fishing, so that's kind of funny that a gacha game actually utilizes the DualSense controller, unlike some of the other games I played. But Astrobot really uses it quite well, and Astro's Playroom especially, because that was the way to sort of sell the controller. And I don't know. Someone will have to leave a comment if the other games like this Last of Us and God of War and Horizon, all these other games, do they utilize the DualSense controller in the way that Astro's Playroom and Astro Bot does? Because I just don't see it. But the great thing about the game that everyone always talks about are the cameos. There's over 330 bots. I think there's like 335 now with all the DLC stuff. And plus the 4 or 5 bots that you can carry over from Astro's Playroom to Astro Bot. And, you know, I just wonder, what are they going to do about Astro Bot 2? You better believe they're going to make Astro Bot 2, because this game sold pretty well. Not as well as a God of War or Death Stranding or Death Stranding 2 or whatever. But well enough, especially considering the budget. Like a lot of those games, millions and hundreds of millions of dollars even. They're movie budgets for these games. Whereas Astro Bot is a much smaller budget. And you can really just see the heart and soul and the care that went into making it. The music, just the idle animations from Astro himself, especially when you change him into different costumes and different power-ups. There's a lot of unique expressions there. And, you know, like, I don't know if they've exhausted all the cameos. They definitely haven't. There's plenty of cameos still to be had. And that was the thing people were complaining about when the game initially released in September, is there's no Square Enix cameos. And so this final round of DLC added characters like Cloud and Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, 2B from Nier Automata, and even Surge from Chrono Cross. Can you believe it? Chrono motherfucking Cross in Astro Bot. So that was great to see. And, you know, I just wonder, like, obviously you can do more of the Final Fantasy characters. That was something I thought of, too, when people were criticizing, oh, there's no Cloud, because obviously he's probably the most famous of all the Final Fantasy characters, let's be real. As much as I don't like Final Fantasy VII and Cloud, or Sephiroth, I hate all of them. They're definitely the most popular of the Final Fantasy characters. I would have preferred to see Squall or Titus, or how about even the Hero of Light from Final Fantasy I, although I guess that's the NES way back when, so Cloud definitely makes more sense. And also another one that would have been cool, even seeing the whole trio, would be Sora, Donald, and Goofy from Kingdom Hearts. Or Sora and Riku and Kairi even. That might have been better, but I guess people more associate the trio of Sora, Donald, and Goofy. So that's cool. But, you know, getting the obscure cameos, like, I mean, I guess it's not too obscure, but even there's 2 Guilty Gear characters. Imagine you get Ragna, Noelle, and Jin from BlazBlue and Astro Bot 2. You know, you had the Ape Escape characters. You had Dante from Devil May Cry. You had the Persona characters. We only acknowledged Persona 3, 4, and 5. 1 and 2 don't exist, so we had 3, 4, and 5. There's quite a number of the JRPG characters, like, you know, some from Dark Cloud. There's Arc the Lad, Wild Arms, Suikoden. So lots of great JRPG cameos as well. Resident Evil, Yakuza. The list goes on and on. But I had so much fun playing these games. I mean, you can check back the streams. Maybe I was raging at some of the difficult DLC levels, especially the last one for Sephiroth. That one, you know, I couldn't even finish it on stream. I got it off stream, and hopefully you're watching the video clips as this is going on. But, yeah, with them making all these DLC levels, a thought I had, and something I brought up in the live streams was, you know, are they making these levels right now? Like, obviously, it's a couple of months in between each free DLC level, so there's plenty of time there, and there's all the assets from the original game and all this other stuff. So, were these levels made as, you know, time passed, as the months passed from the game releasing last September? Or did they have them, they just didn't include them, so, okay, we'll drip feed it free DLC? And I know the PS5 is a bundle now where Astro Bot is included. It's not a physical copy, but you get the digital copy of Astro Bot, so it's all well and good. Physical always wins. So there's that, and getting more people to play it, getting people to come back, like myself, who already got the Platinum Trophy, but came back for the DLC levels to get even more trophies, to collect all the bots, to explore and see their different animations and whatnot. So there's that. And I just wonder, like, have they started Astro Bot 2? I hope they have, because, man, I would buy it in a heartbeat. And another thing I really like, I mentioned how they bundled it with the new PS5s, but when it initially launched back in September, you know, most games on the PS5 retail for $70. This game was only $60, so it's $10 cheaper. I'd imagine now it's also been on sale a number of times, maybe. I don't know if it's been down to $30 quite yet, but at least down to $50 and maybe even $40. So it's been on sale. And, you know, you see the constant back and forth with the prices, especially now at the Switch 2, where you get a game like Mario Kart World for $80. And, you know, it's already, the precedent was already set with the PS5 and Xbox raising the prices of games to $70, especially for the first-party games. So you've seen that before, but you've had exceptions like Astro Bot, and I know even the Trails games, they're still at $60 when they initially launch. But now with Nintendo, Mario Kart World for $80. I understand Donkey Kong Bonanza was only $70, so that's more the average. But the prices are going to keep going up, and it's good to see a game that's more affordable, that's even $10 cheaper than the average game. Although it's still recommended to just wait, because if you do wait 6 months, you'll get the game on sale. And I mean, we're already in August now, so soon enough you'll get the sales for Black Friday in November, Christmas, the New Year's sales. There might even be an end of summer sale before September. They always do things like that, so keep an eye out. But I'll always respect them for having the game retail for $60 as opposed to $70. So overall, I mean, I love the Astro Bot. You can check out the various videos on my channel talking about it, my excitement after playing Astro's Playroom and the lead up to Astro Bot, the various DLC levels, and now completing them again. Despite my rage on stream, I know especially for the last level, I'm like, I hate this game. It's a game like that. It's like Master Duel. I hate this game, but I love this game. And I kept coming back. And it should be an asterisk, you know, that those were the really difficult levels, and playing the main story, the normal levels and the boss fights, that's much more fun and more manageable, especially to someone who doesn't typically play platformers, because people will say, oh, this is baby's first platformer. No, I don't know about that. Mario Odyssey is baby's first platformer. Give me a break, bro. But, yeah, definitely looking forward to Astro Bot 2. It'd be cool if they announced something, you know, maybe for the anniversary of Astro Bot. Like, here's the trailer for Astro Bot 2. And again, you know, just keep the mechanics the same, maybe add a few new power-ups. But I just question, like, what are they going to do for the collectibles? Because obviously the collectibles in this were all cameos, and they've exhausted more of the popular cameos. So I guess they could do more obscure cameos. But even with Astro's Playroom, there are more of just like the basic bots with a few cameos here and there. So we'll have to wait and see what Sony does. Team Asobi. And you better believe I'll be looking forward to Astro Bot 2. I enjoyed my time, especially the fact that I've almost spent an entire year, you know, playing the game back in September, but coming back month to month to month, checking the new DLC. I mean, games could learn with that. You see that with fighting games. I play Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. There's new DLC characters every few months of that as well. There's the, you know, Season 2 right now. And then also of Zenless Zone Zero, my gacha slop, which I keep going back to that as well. And I really enjoy it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you played Astro's Playroom, if you played Astro's Bot, what you're looking forward to in Astro Bot 2, and, you know, whatever else. Leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day, and peace out.
99.